All right. Hi, guys. So, might be starting a book review kind of thing. I'm thinking of doing this because I am writing all day at my work stuff and whatever. And I think that doing content like this, where I go through books that I've read, is going to be a nice way for me to wind down after a long working day. So I just came back from the gym, got a nice shower, and now it's bedtime, story time. And today we're going to be looking at adaptive markets. But during my days running chaos, more seriously, I was reading quite a bit, and this was one of the books that I really, really enjoyed. I think when I was still doing more of consulting work, I really, really enjoyed the idea of bubbles. I enjoyed the idea of understanding how the world works. I enjoyed financial literacy, financial books, not so much on a technical perspective, but more on a global macro perspective, just to see how like different parties in the world worked, right? You know, you have different nations, you have different groups of investors, you have different types of pockets of people with different sets of beliefs. And I think the financial markets is a place where all of these people start to bet on their beliefs, put dollar values to what it's worth to them, and they are able to say that I believe in this and it's worth $100,000 to me. I believe in this; it's worth $1 million worth to me, right? So it's this constant fight that's very, very interesting to see things play out with time. And I mean, from a marketing perspective, learning about finance and learning about the different segments in the market, I think it helps. I'm not sure how legitimate the link is and whether I'm just, justifying my procrastination when it comes to doing actual copy by saying that reading about financial markets is actually work. But I think it's a good way for me to, get out of my work. You see how people think in copy. I try to, create sales arguments about how people think. So very, very similar, but not exactly the same. Instead of traits, you write promotions, right? So yeah, well, let's get started. Today, I'm going to be doing a kind of broad overview of the Adaptive Markets book and some of the key points that I've learned along the way. I know that this is very deceiving to have a lot of annotations and highlights. I feel like I've forgotten most of them inside, but I went to dig up my notes and this is what I found. So, yeah, let's talk about the adaptive market hypothesis. The first thing is that the efficient market hypothesis, which is people making decisions based on perfect information, is a good working model that you always kind of optimize towards the perfect decision. That's a good place to start. Mathematically, it's very perfect and it satisfies our need for certainty and to make things very clean and perfect, right? I think, when I think about the efficient market hypothesis, it's always about like putting things into a nice, neat little box. Yeah. And you put enough math, you shove enough theory, and you fit everything into that box. The adaptive markets theory says that this is never the case, that there is never perfect information, or that people are really just trying to make the best decision with all the available information. And instead of thinking about the market as just, I am a decision maker, I know information, I make perfect decisions, we kind of changed the frame where people make decisions like heuristics, right? Like little cells. So each person is like a little cell with a little set of beliefs. And if the belief is correct in the market, what happens is that they get to succeed, they get to grow, they get to proliferate their belief and the way that they see the world. So just like how a bacteria that is very good at infecting more things and growing into the spreading itself because it's able to feed on the environment and it's able to decompose items or something like that. The right heuristics and the right ways of making decisions also spread in a similar fashion. And it's not as linear as the perfect information, imperfect information model that we traditionally think about when it comes to decision making. That there's a lot of nuance and there's a lot of competing worldviews. And a lot of the times it's, seeing how these worldviews interact with each other. I think that's the key takeaway for the adaptive market hypothesis. So really, for this book, I mean, there are a lot of financial concepts, and I probably will take another video to go into that. But for this book, it's really about understanding that you're never going to make the perfect decision. You are always going to build on old mindsets that are passed down to you. It's like a little genetic code, and it's up to you to really evolve and see which one helps you to thrive and prosper in the current environment. So yeah, I think this is the big picture. I'm going to try to do this more often, so forgive me if this first video is a little bit shit. I'm just going to get it out there, and maybe tomorrow I'll see you again, and take care from there. Cheers and bye bye.